Good afternoon, boys and girls, and good morning. Good morning, good morning. We're not too late this morning, eh? 4 minutes late. That's not bad, not bad. Pretty early for a Cami Capital stream. Good morning, everybody. The profile today is looking meh right now. I see we have some good setups from the overnight levels. We got a nice one tick on the dot, long from that overnight value low. Came up, dug into the overnight value high a lot deeper. So not so much of a nice setup on that first tap, but second time around, nice and clean. Overnight point of control, giving a few nice trades after that initial opening range we put in. And then a break and retest on the other side. Of course, you want to line that up with the developing profile ideally as well. So we'll pull it back to the time of those trades. And yeah, overall some decent setups so far for the New York. So I am jealous that I missed them, but here we are for the afternoon where we're looking a little less interesting, but hey, we got some things we can scope out here. So at the moment we are sitting obviously at basically at all-time highs, I believe, and what we're going to be looking at here is nothing more than a C rank trade at best. So we have, from where we are, we've got a big shelf we've put in, right? That's irrelevant right now because we're still trading across that shelf, so not looking to use any sort of break or retest of that. But we have the edge of volume, kind of similar to the play I took on Thursday last week. It was a C rank trade, price pulling back to the edge of value, tapping that level, and then just getting a small bounce from that point. The range itself today is pretty small. If you look at the type of moves, this entire jump from overnight value high to the high here is only 7 points. So very low volatility. I could assume that might have something to do with FOMC coming up this week, so less certainty in the market perhaps. So there's that. So what I'll be doing is if we pull back towards this area, towards the end of the day, C rank setup, I might look for something in here, unconfirm it, we'll see how we go. Of course, I'm trading an actual funded account, so I'm not just trying to take any blasé trade. Yeah, we'll see how I'm feeling if my intuition is ringing the bells down here, and I'll be looking for. See, that's the problem here. I'm gonna want at least a 3-point. But yeah, it's not looking very volatile today. Not looking very volatile is what I'm saying. Looking very, very slow. Very slow. Small movements. So we'll see how we go if we pull back down around there, and I'll give it a feel out when we get to that point. And perhaps that might be the only trade outline for today. The rest of the profile at the time of this stream right now is a little bit messy. See how it's almost like not even distribution, but it's almost like it's got basically no distinctive nodes within the value area there. We have a distinctive node on the high up here, a distinctive node on the edge of value, but then that whole cluster is all just muddled together. So that whole range across here is not going to provide any extra confluences today. So we're looking at C rank trades, lower quality trades towards the end of the day here. So that's my analysis, my synopsis. Good morning, everybody. Yes, let's go. What's up, Valentino? Volume profile works perfect today. Yes. No worries, Valentino. Morning, guys. Frank, Mike, Chris Ross, Reese. Reese dropped to 929. Not 930, 929. Cookie Nader, what's up, Cookie Nader? Nice, man. Graham, what's up, Graham? Ever consider trading gold again? If so, are the levels the same in times as the indices? Derek, yeah, I definitely consider trading gold again. I still trade it. I took trades on gold as recent as 3 weeks ago. 3-4 weeks ago. So I still trade it. In terms of the levels, I played with using gold's specific RTH levels versus just the equities open. But the equities open still gives the highest volume session in total, beginning at 9:30. So I started at 9:30, same levels, same 9:30 to 4, and 6 p.m. to 9:30 for the overnight and previous weeks are the same. obviously. And yeah, it works really well that way. Some say you should use the pit hours for gold trading, but I've found that just the regular 9:30 to 4 hours, the RTH session works just well. 8:45 today, Valentino. Yes, congrats, man. Nemo, what's up, Nemo? No worries, my friend. Fantastic. Happy birthday, man. Oh, yes, Luca. I've been watching videos for recently and caught the bottom of the US session open with VP and options levels. Yes, good, man. It's perfect, eh? Today's bottom was fantastic. That overnight valley area low, that's put in at 9:30, obviously, so it's not something that's just developed afterwards. The developing profile would have looked a little bit different at the time, obviously, and may not have been a confluence on its own, but with the overnight value low, not using the extended profile at that time, overnight value low, boom, one tick, trade, boom, and that's catching the bottom of today's entire range, which is really, really nice, really clean. Overnight value levels are super useful. Super useful for catching tops and bottoms. POC just shifted to the upside here now. POC value area high is now shifted. We're all sitting right across the top, right across the highs. Nice, Daryl. Just finished the course after 2 years of applying a complicated strategy. I really like the simplicity of the volume profile. Yes, it is a nice change, isn't it? Very, very nice. What's up? Thrill Chaser, hola. Hoister, good morning. Gold 3-point stop loss, take profit overnight, can't beat it. Yeah, not a bad parameter there. I smacked 1,200 off gold this morning. Yes. Let's put it on here. Let's put on a little poll to start the day. I want to see, how are you all sitting today? Green or red? As always, no break evens. I want to see you green, you red. Weekend good. Yeah, weekend. Thank you, Marco. Weekend was good, man. We had a long weekend here in New Zealand. Not that it matters to the unemployed like myself, but it was cool. Good weekend. I'm currently in the middle of moving house and whatnot, so yeah, man. Just packing things up, throwing things out, getting things ready. Thank you. I caught the first tap on the overnight value high. Didn't have the confidence to catch it off the second tap, 130. Should I have jumped in on the second tap as well? Thought it might have been exhausted. Omar, first tap's normally the best one until you get your break and retest. Should you have jumped in? I don't recommend jumping in another time just because there's another, setup. I recommend, not financial advice, but my whole idea to the approach here is that you take one good trade per day, 1 to 2 good trades per day max, and then call it. Because if you were to trade every setup over and over again, there's just so many setups with volume profile that you could be sitting here the whole session. My approach to that is just take the one trade. If you got a winner, a really good winner on the first trade, just call it there and come back tomorrow. That's my approach, because I don't want to be sitting at the charts trying to take every setup and worrying about, the second tap versus the first tap. Just take that first step. But in regards to your question about the exhaustion, has that setup been exhausted? The thing with volume profile is it's not that a level is exhausted. You just want to see how volume's developing in reaction to that level. So on your second tap, you might have more of an idea about, has volume developed up there? Has there been no volume up there? Is that now a value area highs or low of the developing profile? You get a bit of an idea of how today's volume is developing according to that level, and can give you a better idea of, is this setup going to be one worth taking or not? The first tab, often you don't have much confluence because the volume hasn't developed, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the first tap can be a good, C rank trade like we see in the morning. Bang, bang. And then the second tap, let's use this as an example. The first time price traded into the overnight value high, in this case, it pushed through, traded right through, came back down. But second time around, let's pull the profile when it loads. There we are. Second time around, that was then value high of the current session. So it became value high. So when you come back up, you can have a little bit more, couple of confluences there. Value high, current session, overnight value high, previous day value level. Now you got two confluences on that trade. Stop. I like to use a bare minimum of 5 points, but today's volatility is so low, perhaps using a 3-point stop might have been better. And targeting 1-to-1, or if you want it to be real ballsy, target back towards POC. And there you go. There's a nice trade with an additional confluence of the developing profile. Whereas the first time price traded up there, there's also value high actually as well, but the first half an hour of trading had not yet passed, only just passed. There we are. So yeah, you can be a little bit more confident that second time around, having seen price trade up there, then pull back into value with the value area high remaining the same, if that makes sense. And then same for the test on the POC. Right off the open, of course, don't use the developing profile right in the open. Wait half an hour. So that the second time when it came down to pull down to overnight point of control, you had the developing profile's value area low sitting there, the blue line, making that a more confident level to take a trade from, because now you've got the added confluence of value area low of the developing profile there. Second time around, same thing, even cleaner. Third time around, same thing. Almost right on that overnight point of control. Using developing profile for value area low, two confluences, B rank trade, and some really good setups from there. Now, of course, it's not always going to win, even with the added amounts of confluence, because if you scroll this across to then overnight value high here, same thing, you had overnight value high on the developing profile, and the overnight value high was in line with the value area high of the developing profile. Same setup, right? Nice two confluence trade, but that would have been a loss because it ended up breaking away. But when you see that confident breakout above, then you start to look for a test of support, and that's the same trade just on the other side. Overnight value high, developing value high, perfect clean trade setup there, and minimal drawdown. Pulling that across to the next time it tapped overnight value high, less clean, right? You had the developing value high shift higher, and you don't really have either a clean node over here to take this trade from. However, the overnight value high level still providing support right there, but you don't have that added confluence. So ideally for the best quality trades, you want to have 2 to 3 confluences on a trade. So the best trades today being these overnight level taps with the developing profile level confluence. You would have had 1, 2, 3, 4 wins, technically 5 wins, and 1, 2 losses. 2 losses, 5 wins, using the developing profile if you were to take every single trade setup. Yeah, look at this. We're pulling away from the point of control above the value highs. It's very slowly pulling away. It's not like it's a really nice breakaway here, but we're slowly grinding up. Yeah, all-time highs are always hard to trade. Just generally with the all-time highs, my approach to all-time highs is just taking trades in line with the trend until it breaks, basically. So, I mean, now that we pulled away from this high volume node, that's a potential pullback area for a setup. It's not a great rank trade because you're using the developing POC, developing value high, only developing levels for this context of this potential pullback area, but it's still a valid trade. Will I take it? Maybe not. Maybe I'll wait for it to pull back even further. End of day pullback. Expecting that. So let's see how that goes. Nice, Scott. Good luck, man. Glad to hear. About to get funded, all thanks to you, Jorge. Hey, man, good work. When you are trading NQ, how close would levels have to be in order for you to consider them confluences, e.g. 50 or 100 ticks apart? Cooking Editor, there's no real hard and fast rule about that. You just want to see, if the range is really wide, or let's say if you have, let's use this as a hypothetical example. Say this is the overnight value high, and say you have maybe a previous day value area low. So this green bulk line here is a previous day value area low. I would still consider that a confluence, even though that's a few points apart. For example, with NASDAQ, assume this is NASDAQ. All you're doing is then using that zone in between those levels as your entry point. So what I suggest in some of these cases is you could add one contract or one portion of your max risk onto the first tap or the upper area, add another one as it digs in, and then add a third one if it taps all the way down to overnight value high. So you're going bang, bang, bang. Average position is then the midpoint of that zone, because this is your confluence zone. The value levels should not be an exact science to the tick, to the level, although often they are, but it's just an area in price where we start to look for something to happen. And if you have multiple overlapping lines or multiple overlapping confluences within a certain range, you just look then in that zone for a potential trade setup. And the golden question becomes, how early do you want to start to enter your trade from that zone? Do you want to, get all in on the first tap or wait for it to pull back? It's a golden question, right? So my approach to that is just adding in as it goes, as it trades into it. And, if that trade only ends up taking one contract worth of risk, well, hey, at least I avoided potentially going into deep drawdown with a larger amount. And, if it does dig down deeper into my levels, then I can add in more contracts to get a good average position. If not, it was a nice safe approach to, trying to determine which level to get in at first. Thoughts on the big gap from Friday? Yeah, Robbo. I mean, tariff, Trump stuff, right? To put it simply. I'm happy with the big gap up. To be honest, I'm very happy with it. My long-term portfolio is very happy right now. So yeah, in terms of day trading, I'm not a guy who always thinks those gaps have to be filled. I mean, sometimes the market just gaps up and keeps going up. So I'm not going to go ahead and say I think that it's going to come down and fill this gap. We could very well just keep rocketing up. All right, it's pulling back towards that point of control, value high. Do I usually target one-to-one or other confluences from VAL to POC? Poor Squid, most of the time I'm just doing a one-to-one. Unless the levels are really close together, I'm just doing a one-to-one. I will hold a runner, though, to the opposing level. So if I am trading, a VAL to POC, I will get most of my position off at one-to-one, arbitrary target, and then I will hold the runner to the POC, to the logical target. Antonio, you can't copy trade TPT using TradingView. You have to use the Trade of 8. Have I looked at the Ninja Trader Arena competition? I have not, Nick. I would be down to enter one of these competitions. I couldn't enter the BDH one. It wasn't available in my country. Expecting the gap fillers ICT stuff, I did end up losing more trades than I would have if I just did not expect such. Yes, agreed, Lion. What confluences can we use for London session? PD plus OVN still open of London? Yes, you can, Andre. It'll be the previous day's overnight levels. It wouldn't be today's overnight, so you'd be using the previous day's overnight because at the London Open, the overnight profile is still developing, so you'd have to use the previous one. But yeah, previous day, previous week, and then most recent close overnight session. Am I a Maori? Maori. Part. Most of us Kiwis are a little bit. I'm like a 1/8 Maori, so it's in there. It's in my blood for sure. But I'm mostly Scandinavian, and then I'm Indian, as in Fijian Indian, and then finally some other things mixed in along with Maori. Look at that nice tap off that POC pullback. POC high value area high pullback. Nice little tap. That's what I mean. It could still a valid setup, but not enough confluences for me to trade that. All-time highs. All-time highs trading off just the current POC VAH. Prefer to take a long on a pullback personally than to take the closest one when it comes to these situations. So, but still nice to see that giving a little bounce there. How much did that go? 3 points. Tradeify has a competition too. Nice. Cool. Simon the Piler, actor, model, a man of many talents. Hey man, how do you get those red and green boxes on the chart? My trading view, I haven't figured out how to get it to look like yours. Simon, if you click 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth option down on trading view, then expand the menu out. It's the long and short position tool. I have them saved to my favorites bar, and then you just place them on the chart, measures out your positions. How do you find entries, confluences when the market is making new highs? Yeah, Pastor Pete, the best thing you can do is what I've just highlighted here. Not a trade I would take this one personally, but it's valid. Is trade from the high volume nodes as it breaks and makes new highs. Trade the pullbacks to the high volume nodes. So this one here made this node very sharp, significant node. Made that node, broke away to the upside, away from that pocket of value, pulled back, retested value, and went up. And then same thing down here. I was waiting instead to see a deeper pullback and trade this shelf here, another pocket of value, and trade off that. The high volume nodes just represent small pockets of value in the price range. So when you're trading breakaways and trading all-time highs, the market often likes to retest levels of value as it moves up. So market finds value here, buyers take control, push it higher, come back to retest area of value. Yes, buyers stand back in, pull it back up. So that's all you can do when price is trading all-time highs, is just trade those pullbacks, because obviously the previous day levels are all the way down here. Value levels for reference all the way down here, Friday. Overnight levels are good, but we're quite far from those now too. So all we have are the overnight. The previous week's levels, I believe, are, way down. I doubt we'll even use previous week's levels this week, unless we had a massive meltdown. We're sitting way down here. The only time I see a massive meltdown happening this week is if OMC is different than expected. Do C-rank setups have higher probability on news days? Not that I'm aware of, Lion. I know that news days and news events often do react to those, single value level trades pretty well. I don't know if they have higher probability though, Lion. It's on Newsday, that's probably all you're going to get is a C-ranked setup because, when the news events hit, it's too quick for the profile to develop. When that's happening, it's just going to whip around and normally is going to whip off a value level, which is why I love PPI. PPI is my favorite day to trade because it hits those value levels so nicely. It's nice for a quick flip on a funded account for sure. A nice JG. Appreciate that, man. Use code CAMCAP to get 550Ks on TPT. Pass the evals rather aggressively. How do you recommend going about building the buffer? Static risk in one-to-ones? Yes, JG, my approach for the funded accounts, when you got the drawdown, the intraday trailing drawdown you've just passed, say it's on a 150K account, you got 4,500 to work with for drawdown. All I do with this, I take it super conservative for the most part. There are times where I just flip an account. If I can't be bothered, I'll just be like, I'm going to flip this and either pass the buffer or fail and have to try again. But most of the time, because I don't want to burn cash and the time spent on passing eval, I'm splitting that 4,500 drawdown into 10, so 450, and then I'm risking that max per day. So it's a little bit slow, but I'm going one-to-one trades, risking 450 absolute max on the day. Until I pass. So maybe 2 weeks, often about 2 weeks, you pass that buffer. And then once I'm past the buffer, I then trade it a little bit more aggressively because the intraday trailing drawdown has stopped. So although it's the same amount of drawdown, because your drawdown will still be 4,500 once you reach $4,500 profit, I start to trade a little more aggressively, often risking up to 25% of the drawdown per trade. Again, targeting one-to-one. But then here's the difference is say that I make, say if I've got $4,500, I might risk $1,000, right? Once I've beat the buffer zone, because once you beat the buffer, that intraday trailing drawdown stops and doesn't start again. So I might risk $1,000 on trade number one. If I win my first trade once I pass the buffer zone, I make $1,000. Then moving on to the next trade, I go ahead and I double down and I'll risk 2,000 to make 2,000. If I win that, then I'll go back to risking 1,000. Does that make sense? So I'm risking a portion of the profit from that first trade if a winner on the next trade to hit a bigger amount. And then that way, by the time I go ahead and hit my third trade, if it's also a winner, I've then built $4,000 drawdown. So I'm almost at double the max drawdown amount. And then I drop back down to risking 10%. So kind of, yeah, I don't even know what you'd call that, but that's my approach to doing is risking a quarter of the profit, a quarter of the drawdown after the buffer's passed. If a win, risk a portion of that, plus a quarter again. And if they're both winners, then drop back down to 1,000 and then drop back down to 10%. And then I'll repeat that same kind of cycle, risking a portion of my profits along with the amount of max risk I'd normally take. If it's a winner, good. If not, back to 10%. I should probably write that down at some point because it's worked pretty well for me in getting, number one, quick payouts, or number two, quickly building a nice, decent cushion. If it does go wrong, however, then you're left with a bit of drawdown to work out of. So that's the only downside. But my win rate is up in the 70s on average. So normally I can get away with that. If it is a loss, I'll be looking at, dropping that risk back down to 10%, building it back, and then restarting, doing that all over again. Why did you change your candlestick color to white and gray instead of red-green? Thrill Chaser, it helps my emotions. If I'm just seeing white and gray, I don't really have much emotional connection to the chart. If I'm seeing red and green for whatever reason, probably fair reason, red symbolizes loss for me, green symbolizes win. When I see a candle, it just triggers me a bit more when it's a big red candle or a big green candle versus just a white and gray candle, which is just monotone. So it's just removing some of that emotion from the markets. Graham bought the course last week, loved the course, and is so well presented. I'm hooked. No worries, Graham. Nice to hear, man. Thank you for the kind words. Hope you found it helpful. How accurate is volume profile on TradingView compared with NinjaTrader? Man, so volume profile on TradingView, the most accurate volume profile is going to be one that uses tick data. And I believe NinjaTrader does use tick data. TradingView calculates the volume profile kind of funny, but it is the most accessible option for most. To get the closest results within a few ticks of actual tick data volume profiles, you draw it on the 1 minute chart, and it's going to give you a pretty close result to what it would be using real tick data. But yes, the reason we use TradingView for streams and for courses and whatnot is because it's the most accessible, easiest to set up, and most affordable for most people. And you get basically the same levels. It'll be within a few ticks at worst. But yeah, any platform that uses tick data is going to have a slightly more accurate volume profile, and it won't matter which time frame you draw that profile across. I will be putting out some tutorials soon, and I'll probably start using it on stream shortly. MotiveWave. MotiveWave is a Orderflow platform available on Mac, which is why I'm using it, because it's on Mac, that I'm going to be test running to see if it's decent. And then I'll make some tutorials on that, on using volume profile there as well. Same, everything the same. It's just, it's an actual Orderflow platform versus TradingView, which can be a little bit infantile sometimes. No, mushy. So once it hits your max cushion, your drawdown, your $4,500 profit, everything stops trailing you. So your drawdown just becomes fixated at zero at that point. Intuition through to 9:29 a.m. Eastern time. Jack T, no trades today yet? Not yet. Oh, actually, I did take a trade earlier in the Asian session. Let's see if I can find it. Was it down? I took a trade today, which I have reposting in the school group. Yeah, there it is. I took this trade earlier today. Evenly distributed profile. And my trade was from the lower end here. And I just targeted POC. But I went in with 6 contracts, so it was $500 odd. Yeah, it was a simple fade off the... There it is. Simple fade off the value low, the developing session of a even distribution profile. Bang, bang. A few good setups on that, but this is the one I sat down and took right there. Only trade I took today. Unfortunately, I'm unable to sign into my TPT account via TradingView at the moment. I don't know why. I think it's because I need to update TradingView. It says, please update the app. That might be the issue, actually. So you use VRP for each session, not as a day. We use it for days as well, Brian, but we also use developing. We use a few. So I'm using weekly, previous day, previous overnight, and current sessions. So a few volume profiles. Oh, Reese, ATAS is a great platform. That's a really good platform. Now, that barrier to entry is even higher for most people, but it's a good platform. I know. I agree. It's probably that one's probably one of the most professional platforms for order flow traders. Very expensive, but really good. That, and I'm also a huge fan of Jigsaw, but Jigsaw is really ancient. Siddharth lost 2 trades today. In my mind, it instantly goes towards wanting to trade some other strat. How do I get out of this loop? Siddharth, first, you want to analyze why you lost. Was it strategy specific, or was your entry bad? Were you taking a trade where there was not so many confluences? Did you oversize? Did you move your stop too early? Sit down and figure out why you lost. Was it because of the strategy itself, or was it because of something human error? And make sure you evaluate that honestly as well. Determine what it was that caused you to lose. And then if it was strategy focused, it's going to happen with any strategy. A good psychological exercise to do, which if you're part of the school group I shared as well in one of the psychology modules, is take a coin, for example. A coin flip has a fixed 50-50 chance of heads or tails, always, right? 50-50 chance. The exercise you do is, so let's put it this way. Say heads is a win, tails is a loss. You have a 50-50 chance, so you have a 50% win rate. Flip that coin 20 times in a row and record the results. Heads, tails, heads, tails, heads, tails. Look how many times, even with a 50% win rate, how many times you'll find bunches and groupings of wins and losses together. The exercise in the course showed, did the experiment flip the coin 20 times? Even with a 50% win rate, there was groupings of 3 to 4 losses or wins in a row, even with a 50% win rate. So no matter your strategy, your distribution of wins and losses is going to be exactly random. There is no way to determine that. You could have a 70% win rate, and although the chances are low, still lose 5-6 trades in a row. The chances of that happening are low, but it definitely can happen because it's totally random, the distribution of wins and losses. But the point is, just like with the 20 coin flips, you look at the data overall after flipping the coin 20 times, it's roughly 50-50. When I did the experiment in the course, it was 49-51. So although there was groupings of wins and losses or heads and tails bunched together, which would make you think, man, I'm on a hot streak, or man, I'm on a red streak, over that sample size of 20 flips or 20 trades, it was 49-51, so roughly 50-50. So the same thing's going to happen with any and all strategies. You could do everything right, execute at the right point, the right area, good risk management, but due to the randomness of those wins and loss, that win and loss distribution, and the randomness of certain things that happen in the market, certain whipsaws, etc., you could lose every day this week. But if you zoom out and look at the month, overall, if you're sitting green still, then no problem, right? Sarah, the school group's open to anyone who's taken the course. Soon, this week, actually, it should be today or tomorrow, I'm going to be closing off the one-time course access and just pushing it all inside school, but for a higher price. So if you are wanting to get in at the current prices, the course right now at camicapital.com is either today or tomorrow will be the last day to get it at the current price before I push it all into one and increase the price. We're about at that point now. We have 130 members in the school. So, yeah. Doug John, 1,000. Row size 1,000. Jasleen, for passing intraday trailing drawdown. I can see you the first time, Jasleen. Look on my channel, man. There's a video under prop firm videos in the playlist where I discuss strategy for passing intraday trailing. So check that out after this stream. Do I add new lessons in the school too? Yes. Yes, every couple of days. Another 45 minutes to go here, boys and girls. We've not really moved much since starting the stream. Sitting around the highs. It's really, really low volatility today, real low volume. Even though we pushed that new all-time high from where we were, that's only 3.5 points. And compared to last week's volatility, very, very low. But again, I think this is due to FOMC being on Thursday. It's very highly anticipated day this week. So I believe the market might just be a little bit indecisive until then. It is a very slow grind higher, but yeah. Hopefully we get some movement towards the end of the day here. Would be nice. Jesleen, it's not too hard, man. It's I can see it being hard if you take larger risk to reward trades, but to pass the intraday trailing drawdown, just hit 1-to-1 base hits over and over again until you pass. It's not too hard. Since trading volume profile, I've not failed an account due to intraday trailing drawdown. I failed due to oversizing and full porting, but intraday trailing drawdown is easy enough to beat. You just got to take 1-to-1 base hits. Take your profit at your targets. Don't try and hold winners. Don't be a hero. Just base hit every time, over and over. And then it will take longer. It's going to take, for me, it takes, 2 to 3 weeks max to pass an intraday trailing drawdown if I'm trading sensibly. Sometimes I will just full port and try and hit it in one go if I can't be bothered. But yeah, for the most part, if you're just taking base hits, risk 1/10 of your drawdown, you're not going to have too much of an issue. C Winter, thank you for the donation, my friend. How do I get the text labels to stay on the right edge? Double click your line and under text, click text alignment top right. So under the horizontal ray, text alignment right. Oh, Trey. Trey, can you email me again? Sorry, Trey. My bad, man. Email me again. You probably got lost. I've had a plethora of emails. Since starting these streams again. Some just get lost. Some go to my spam. Trey Sargent. I'll tell you what, Trey, I'm going to write you down on my to-do list for today. Just email me again, and I'll flick that through to you before the increase. For sure. If you've taken the course before, yes. There we are, man. JPT, to get into the school group, it's in the last module of the course, the very last module. You can find the invite. Why am I still using the 9:30 volume profile after the time change? MX, because the time doesn't change, if that makes sense. We're using the New York local time, so whatever the time is in New York, we're following 9:30 because that's what this whole RTH session is based off, is New York local time. So as long as you're on 9:30 and set to New York local time, that's all you need to worry about. If your local time zone changes or wherever you live in the world has, daylight savings, time change, as long as you're set to New York, you can always just draw it on 9:30. Always. David, good morning, man. Nice to see you. Small scale bit of Timmy. Yeah, man. Timmy, I do use Bookmap, right? And I have I'm now also putting Motive Wave into practice, into test here. The reason I've used TradingView for my videos and for the course is because it's most accessible, and definitely, it works, right? Using TradingView, it works. It's not advanced in terms of order flow, but it's all you need. But yes, for those that want to go a bit deeper, I'm putting some stuff together for Motive Wave. Those advanced order flow platforms aren't necessary, but they are good to know once you get comfortable with the base level volume profile and how it works and the strategy. It's definitely good to eventually graduate from TradingView and use a more serious platform for sure. Yeah, simplicity, 100% to me. Tom, FRVP, fixed range volume profile. Yeah, nice, Timmy. I 100% do recommend that once you're comfortable with volume profile as a strategy and you've got the basics down. Yeah, eventually graduating to a real platform, because TradingView itself, it's okay. It does what we need, but yeah, you want some better functionality. For example, TradingView doesn't have a DOM. It does, but it's really bad. But yeah, I personally use Trade of 8 and Bookmap. But yeah, scoping out Motive Wave. Price, of course, going back to 500. No, not 500. Switching to a monthly model. Yeah, Timmy. Yeah. After journaling, I realize I have a confidence issue and comes from analysis paralysis. Advice. Okay, Dan. Advice for analysis paralysis is, the only thing I can say is it's so like base level, man, but just start executing fair aside. If your analysis paralysis being caused because you're afraid of losing, size way down. Just start to execute on a small, even if it's just one micro contract, just so you can get yourself used to executing. You got to get in high reps to beat that analysis paralysis. I thought the same thing too. That was something that was a big struggle of mine in the early days, was overanalyzing and missing out on trade setups because I was like, oh, but it could be this, could be this, could be this. Accepting that randomness we talked about earlier, and with the whole coin flip analogy, and then just getting a high amount of reps, and regardless of that distribution of wins and losses, is the only way you can overcome analysis paralysis, is through a large amount of reps. So another thing you could do is, trade a single micro and take every trade setup you see. Obviously, it's not a good thing to do in actual practice of trying to make money, but if you're just trying to beat analysis paralysis, use a micro contract, trade every single setup that you see over and over again, and just get used to clicking that button without hesitation. As that is a key skill once you get into, trading for real, trying to make money for real from this, is executing when you have to without hesitation, because sometimes the market's going to move so quick, you might miss a great setup because of hesitation and over-analysis. So it's really important to beat that analysis paralysis demon by getting in a lot of reps and overcoming it. Yes, Mike. Yep, 49 a month. That's the one. It's alongside the course. Yep. It's an additional add-on. Why you exit ICT if you were also profitable? Andre, because the thing was with ICT, I was profitable. I had my payouts and whatnot, but I was like just getting by. You know what I mean? I was making payouts, getting funded, but it was still a struggle. And the reason why I changed in the end is because I was new to futures, not new to trading, but new to futures, which has, centralized exchange, order flow, level 2, all this stuff, which was not a part of CFDs and Forex. As soon as I learned about Orderflow and level 2 and all these things behind the candlesticks, ICT no longer made sense as an effective strategy, even if, I was able to make it work. It no longer made sense as an effective strategy because we were basically guessing. We're pointing at candlestick patterns and guessing versus trading off real data. So I was like, well, why not? I'll make the switch. Trading wasn't the main thing paying my bills at that time either. So I was okay to sacrifice that and go, okay, I've got something wrong here. ICT is not the best way to trade. I'm going to switch to Orderflow, give it a go. If it's better, well, then I win, right? If it's worse, I'll just go back to what I know. And almost immediately, trading Orderflow volume was better. Almost immediately. Within 2 weeks, I was having much better results than I did with ICT. And I just went all in, man. And I haven't looked back. And now versus back then when I traded ICT, I made more money by a large margin from my YouTube channel than I did from trading. Now, there's months where I make more from trading than I do from my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel makes a shitload of money. It's small, but it's very profitable to be a trading influencer. But now, some months, my trading overtakes that income, which is insane. It's absolutely insane to me. So there's a big difference between profitability with ICT versus profitability with volume and order flow. And I don't believe that's, what was I saying? I don't believe that's unique to me. I believe anyone who takes on volume and order flow is going to have a much better time than they did with ICT. And that's what I've seen and heard from people that have taken the course, been in the school group, people who have come from ICT, and they're just like, wow, this is way better. Of course, it's still hard. Trading's hard, but it's a lot better when you're trading from actual data versus just guessing and, waiting on everything to be just perfect before taking a losing trade for the most part. Yeah, exactly, Lion. I mean, we used to only trade evals on stream. Now we're only trading funded accounts on stream. So there's another indication how well it's been versus ICT. Slow day, man. Yeah, poor Squid. It's a slow day, dude. Some days are like this. I mean, hopefully closer to FOMC and post FOMC we'll get some really nice moves. But yep, this afternoon's pretty slow. It's finding support across these high volume nodes, but not great quality trades. Oh yeah, yo Arnold. So once it's inside the course. Once you've got the course, then at the end of the course, there's an option to add on the monthly school group. There's an invite link in there. You can click that, and then it's only open to people who've taken the course for an additional fee, small fee, $49 a month. That will be changing in either today or tomorrow. Hopefully I can get it done today. My opinion on confirmation, Kendrick. Good question. My opinion on confirmation is I don't use confirmation in the traditional sense. By the time the traditional method of confirmation, right, is, I don't you guys don't mind. We're just yapping here since there's no trade set up at the moment, maybe towards MOC. But let's say this is confirmation where, you wait for a break, boom, and a retest, but then you only get in the trade after that retest move happens, and maybe an ICT trader is waiting for I'm just using ICT trader as an example because it's all I know other than order flow, is using an FVG to wait for price to pull back towards before they take that continuation. By the time that's happened, you've missed the main move, which is from this point, which was the break and retest. Price has already moved, above the previous high. It's taken, a nice leg up, and now you're banking on that continuing by pulling back to an area where it's expanded from already, and you're trying to bank on that move continuing to the upside after pulling back and already having that initial reaction. For scalpers like myself, you'd much rather capture the initial move than capture that confirmation in air quotes. So what I do and what I do with my trading approach and this volume profile approach is look for areas where there's stacked confluences. You might have a value level, a developing profile level, and a high volume node maybe. That would be a perfect setup. And instead of waiting for confirmation, I'm simply trading that first tap no matter what. Trading that first tap, no confirmation. And because there are multiple confluences in that point and it's based off real data, we're not trading some airy-fairy strategy, you're more likely than not going to get a reaction at that point. So it's all about just taking trades at logical levels where something is more likely to happen than not, and just getting in regardless of, in air quotes, confirmation. Because, yeah, the confirmation thing is a total retail concept which doesn't really have too much basis in reality, especially for scalpers. By the time retail waits for, I'm retail too, but just to differentiate, by the time retail gets its confirmation, the moves most of the time already happened and a pullback is in route and maybe a reversal, and you end up missing the best move and opening yourself up to an unnecessary loss versus determining where the best entry point is likely to be, getting in and taking the first reaction. So yeah, that's another thing that's really improved my trading results, is not waiting for any confirmation, instead using levels and developing volume to confirm my trades before price even taps them. Man, another push higher here, boys and girls. Another push. Hoist, just email me, man. I won't subject you to that school price increase if you've already bought it. Yeah, just email me when it does go up if you haven't got in yet, and I will sort you out. Tick by tick trading. When will you greet us with a day in the life vlog? I've thought about it, tick by tick. I just feel like they're cringe, the day in the life vlogs. But hey, man, maybe a Christmas special. If you enter a trade based on volume profile and while you are in the trade, the POC moves up to where you are while you're in the trade, will you evaluate the position again or go ahead and exit? And POC moves up. If I'm already in the trade rocking OT, I will just stay in the trade in that case. If POC moves up, I will stay in the trade. As long as my entry is at a good spot, I'll stay in the trade. Cringe miss, yeah. All right, let's get a giveaway going, boys and girls. I need to get the likes up. There's 332 of yous in here. Get those likes up and we'll get a giveaway going. I want to see, you guys can get 200 likes. I mean, it's 300. 200 likes and we'll get giveaways going for the course. We'll give away a course today before the increase. Why not? Why not? 200 likes before the close here and we'll give away a course. I've got no evals to give away because I thought I'd given away just a week's worth supply of evals. I reach out to my guy at TPT and Apex. I've given away my whole month worth of evals. So I've got to wait till November. So not long, only a few days, and then we can start giving away evals again. But I was being a naughty boy and I gave away everything in a couple weeks, my whole month's supply. To be fair, they weren't very clear to me about how much when I get evals to give away, but now I know. No problem. No problem. These are the worst kind of days to trade, man. Slow, but also all-time highs. I don't mind all-time highs when we're trading with nice volume and we're pushing nice and hard, Then you get some real nice pushes. But I really want to take a trade and, put some risk on only to make 2 to 3 points here at all-time highs? Not necessarily, unless we get a good pullback. If this was really rocketing, 8, 10 points at a time, that would be much more attractive. But yeah, this is a pain in the ass, man. It's one of those days we just wake up to these type of days sometimes, and it's the joy of trading. Sit here for an hour or two, see if anything looks good. If not, at least we chat some good shite. Almost there. 200, 162, 200 likes, and we get the giveaway going. Come on. Come on, come on. Craig, what are we trading today? So far, nothing. So far, nothing. Hopefully soon. End of day, little pullback would be nice to trade. Yes, AA, yes, correct. You can. Why ES over NQ? Kendrick, it's just a personal choice. I traded NQ all year last year. ES this year, just because at the start of the year it was super volatile trading NQ with Trump. If you guys remember, start of the year it was absolutely wild. So I switched to ES just for a bit slower, cleaner price action. But I'll also trade NQ if I feel like. Just depends. No huge preference one over the other. All right. Pushing all-time highs. Let's go. 6,900. Holy shit. Insane. Gotta love the American stock market, man. If you guys aren't invested, if you aren't putting aside cash to invest, you're missing out. If you can. It's one mistake I made when I started making decent money. I didn't invest as early as I should have. But holy shit. My profile's broke. Nice line. Trade from 1 p.m. just hit TP. Nice, man. Where was that? 1 p.m. 1 p.m. 1 p.m. Oh, nice, dude. My profile, my trading screen's all broken now. What the shit? Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Let me just fix that. One moment, please. Make sure you get the likes to 200 and we will have the giveaway going. Just fixing my screen here. There we go. There we are, much better. Man, it's just pumped up again. It's just pumped up. Pump up the jam. Holy shit. Holy shit. New highs, big new highs. There we go. End of day. Far out. What a tease. Yeah, there wasn't really any major setups in there, guys. It was the pullback to the high volume node before the push away, but other than that, there was not a lot going on there. Tom caught a nice POC to VAH. Nice, man. Do you teach how to use Bookmap? Not in the course, Tom. The course is just purely on using volume profile for setups. What I am doing inside the school group is working on an Orderflow course, which will include some things on how to use the heat map. So it's not required for volume profile trading, nor is it something I actually use too much. I just like to have it open. So yeah, the course itself is purely just volume profile trading, purely. No, Your Arnold, those are just ones we were highlighting out earlier, the start of the stream. I've only taken one trade today. That was in the overnight session, way back here, down here. Value area low at the time to POC, just a little scalp. It's my only interaction with the market so far for today's trading day. Yes, Tom. Yes, it's an add-on to the course. So you get the course, and then at the end you have the option to add on for $49 a month the community access, only open to course members. No Warriors anime sessions. Nice. Glad to hear, man. What do we got? 186 likes. Get us to 200, and we got the giveaway going. 14 more likes. We give away a free course. $19 minutes to go. This has been insane, man. Insane. Slow grind and then nice big spike. Wow. Wow. 6904 all-time highs. Beautiful. Yes, LA to BK. Yes, correct. At the moment, in a couple of days, it's going to change and all just be under the school platform, but for a higher price. So, for simplicity, yeah, in a couple of days, it'll be all under school, but for now, it's separate. Final limit, no planned Asia sessions through. Definitely Asia session. Final limit. I'm just waiting till I move house. While I'm in the middle of moving house, Asia session streams are off the table. I'm still trading Asia because that's when I trade my main account. But in terms of streams, it won't be till after I move. I'm hopefully getting out of here, moving in mid to end of November. By then it will be almost Christmas, but I'll see if I can get some Asian streams in before end of year. But yeah, Thrill Chaser, more NY sessions. I agree. We'll be getting the NYAM sessions going again soon too when I move. I'm potentially making 2 moves. I'm moving from this house to another one in New Zealand, moving my stuff. And I'll be there for a little while, maybe hopefully not too long. And I'm also trying to settle on a purchase in Australia. So if I can get that all sorted out, where I want to be in Australia, in Adelaide, on the place I want, in the area I want, then it'll be New York AM sessions every day, 9:30 AM open every day. Because trading the New York Open from South Australia is much, much better. For my time zone, that is. Be about 10:30, 11 PM my time in Australia. So I will be doing that every single day if that's the case. So fingers crossed on that. Worst case, it'll be about 6 months till I move to Australia. Worst case. And then it will be AMs every day. I did enjoy the New York Open. It was good. Would get a lot of action and some real good setups. Don't get beat up by a kangaroo. Exactly. Exactly. Australia's got some wild, wild animal life. Moving in with Durian Rider. Cheryl, you know, it's, to be honest, it's not looking like we're going to get a good trade set up here. We're almost at the end of the day. But we're at 200 likes, so it is course giveaway time. Yeah, unfortunately, there hasn't been much in terms of setups towards the latter end of the day here. Let's go. Let's get this giveaway going. All right. I'm not even going to put it on this one, actually. Let's go. Right, here we are. So for the giveaway, all you need to do okay. All you need to do to enter the giveaway, same as always, is right here. So I'm going to post a link in the chat. Going to post a link in the chat here, and all you need to do is like the post and comment W. WWW. Just one W. Link is in the chat. Click on that. Like the stream, like the post, and then comment on that post W, the letter W. And then I will select a winner for a free course giveaway. Wow, another push. Another push. Shelf to shelf, man. It's just pushing up. Yeah, comment the letter W and I will get that going. So go like that post. I posted the link in the live chat here. Comment the letter W and in 5 minutes I will select the winner. Gonna set a timer for 5 minutes. Just started now, 4:56. Let's go. Go get that liked and commented on, and we will get that going very, very soon. Wow. As you've seen, there have been a lot of C-rank setups from a high volume node alone, but I don't like to trade the high volume node immediately next to the all-time high. I like a little bit of a deeper pullback, so I have not got anything today, unfortunately. Nice, Art. Hey, man. Yeah, welcome back, Art. Good to see you. Yeah, imagine we go, man. This thing is pumping, pumping, pumping. It's not even MOC yet. 2 minutes to MOC. Wow, still going. Let's see how this one goes, eh? Another shelf here. I'm not trading this, but let's just watch. All right, another 3 minutes on the giveaway. Make sure you like it up, and comment it up on that post. What the shit? Here we go. More highs. More. Mr. Meth. It does look like a beer, doesn't it? It looks like your Coors Light in America, but no, this is called Good Buzz Kombucha. Remember when I first joined your stream, you were trading ICT. I asked you if you used volume profile, order flow, and bookmap. You didn't at the time. Now that's all I use. Yeah, man. I remember. I don't remember exactly who said it out, but I used to get that question all the time. You probably were one of them. People who are coming in talking about POCs and value areas and bookmap and all this. And I used to be like, oh, I don't need all that. Just need naked price action. I was heavily indoctrinated at the time. But yeah, man. I've seen the light, RP. We're here. I've seen the light, and it is bright. It is so bright. MOC time. Come on. Let's see. I see. Italian beer, huh, Mr. Myth? I gotcha. Delicious. Scott, wow, that's taking it back. The Dave Teachers feud. Hey, man. I have not kept up with any influences at all. I basically muted my entire Twitter. I deleted my Twitter. And I don't follow any other trading influencers other than some. I like Nutty Bar. I like Patrick and Nutty Bar and Luna Trades. He's another one. Other than that, I don't really keep up with it. I got caught up in that nonsense at the time, but the dude Dave teaches FX. Now in hindsight, I can respect the hustle, but he just picks beef with anyone for engagement, and it's a genius play when you're building a following on Twitter. Not something I personally could do because I don't like that negative energy, but yeah, man, respect the hustle. I got nothing bad to say about any of them. Just as long as they're not scamming anybody, go for it. Nothing bad to say. I see in hindsight now I was just caught in the trap of engagement wars. Just nonsense. Although someone did say to me, one of his major gripes with me at the time was like, this guy sold out for a bookmap. He ditched his mentor ICT for a bookmap sponsorship. That was one of the main things. Someone did tell me that he now uses bookmap. So hilarious. Hilarious. All right, time has ended. Let's go. But yeah, nothing bad to say in the end. He's doing his thing. He's working, providing for his family. If what he does works for him and his students, that's all that matters. So yeah, nothing bad. I got nothing bad to say about most other influencers, as long as they're not harming anybody. Okay, giveaway time. I'm going to select a winner for the free course giveaway. So stay tuned in the chat here. And let's choose a winner. Okay. Gonna get a random winner for the course here. Ready? Okay, here's the post, and let me scroll. Boom. Simone Rhoda. Simone Rhoda. Congrats, man. Congrats at Simone Rhoda. Congrats, my friend. Simone, if you have an Instagram, please message me there. Simone, please message me on Instagram. Send me a DM request. I will keep an eye out for you. I'll write it down right now. And I will send that free course through to you, my friend, right after the stream. I'll just need your email address. And Trey Sargent, if you're still here, I've got you on my list as well to do for your email. So let me know, man. Don't worry, boys and girls. I'll be giving away more. You spelled my name wrong. Yes, Art P. If you're in the school group, the updates are added in the school group. Yes. Wow, pushing these new highs on and on. Guys, what am I going to trade here? Absolutely nothing. This thing has just been pushing up off high volume nodes. So we'll call it a no trade afternoon today, unfortunately. Good to sit here and chat, and that's all. But yeah, no trade setups for this afternoon. Very difficult to trade when it's just grinding up high slowly. These stronger pushes towards the end were decent, but again, only single confluence trades off a high volume node. Not the best quality. When you're trading real money in funded accounts like we are here on stream, I'm not really trying to push my luck on something like that. It's not a very probable trade. So that's it for today, boys and girls. Thanks for coming by stream, watching the stream, hanging out, chatting. And that's it, man. That's it. We'll come back tomorrow. No doubt we'll have some better setups tomorrow, having put in some value levels from this session. So we'll be more close to more confluences and whatnot. Other than that, that's it. I'll catch you guys same time tomorrow. If you want to grab the course today and most at the worst tomorrow will be the last day to grab it at the current price. So I put the link in the chat, camicapital.com, before that increases and gets shifted over to school. So if you want to grab that, lock it in at the lower price. Hey, Simone's already got the course. I'm going to select one more winner. Okay. I'm going to heart your comment. Simone's already got the course. That's very funny. Let me go another one. Palmer J. At Palmer J. Simone. Palmer J. Okay. Palmer J just selected you. At Palmer J. I've hearted your comment. Please DM me on Instagram. And yeah, let me know. We'll sort that course. Let me just write that down. Hilarious. Palmer J. Please message me on Instagram and I'll arrange that for you. Okay, that's it, guys. Catch you tomorrow. Course, camicapital.com. If you want to get funded with Take Profit Trader, if you want to grab an eval, 40% off and no activation fee using code CAMCAP, CAMCAP. All right. And if you want to use Apex, it's currently 80% off. Never grab Apex at full price. Code CAMCAP, CAMCAP.